This video is just to highlight a press conference by Chief of Police Travis Griffith. He's doing a press conference on San Angelo Police Officer Jason Gann after an internal affairs investigation on Jason Gann striking and knocking unconscious an 18-year-old female while she's already handcuffed, and she has a hobble on her ankles and in the backseat of a cop car. They open the door to adjust the hobble on her ankles, and she kicks him, and he knocks her out. I do have to give San Angelo Police Department the credit for taking action on this because there was no external complaint. The complaint was done by another officer, so I'll give him credit on that. But here's the press conference with Travis Griffith.
Thank you for being here today. I ran on accountability and transparency. Living out accountability and transparency is very difficult. Today, we live out one of those difficult times. Over the past several months, the San Angelo Police Department's Office of Professional Standards, it's commonly referred to as Internal Affairs, conducted an internal investigation regarding a use of force incident involving Officer Jason Gann. In late June of 2025, Officer Gann arrested a female subject during a family violence investigation. The female was 18 years of age, 5 foot, 100 pounds. She was not cooperative and was intoxicated. The female was appropriately handcuffed, seatbelted, and had her legs restrained due to her resistive behavior. Prior to leaving the scene, officers attempted to readjust the leg restraints, during which the female kicked Officer Gann in the right hip. Following this, Officer Gann grabbed the female's legs and pulled the rip hobble, which is what helped restrain her legs, tight. He then leaned in the patrol vehicle and struck her head, rendering her unconscious for a period of time. The female was transported to an area hospital and treated for her injuries. Throughout a routine oversight process, the department staff identified the incident within hours as being concerning, prompting an internal investigation. Officer Gann was placed on an alternative duty status, meaning that he was not able to enforce the laws. He was basically restricted to only be able to do administrative work. Upon the conclusion of the investigation, it was determined that Officer Gann's use of force was not in accordance with the San Angelo Police Department's policy and procedures. The force was found to be excessive in nature. The Texas Rangers reviewed the case and determined that there was no criminal elements for an offense. Considering the multiple levels of restraint that was already applied, the size disparity between the officer and the female subject, the degree of force that was used, Officer Gann's lack of accountability and response to retraining, Officer Gann was indefinitely suspended from the San Angelo Police Department this morning. We are releasing a small part of the video and blurring the face of the female subject. I requested the blurred video out of respect for the young lady involved. At this time, we do not have an external complaint, so I wanted to make sure that we give her that respect in this process. And we're now going to watch the video on the screens at this time. I have to readjust the handcuffs right now. I'm sorry, the grip hobbles, which is on her legs or on her ankles. And he opens the door, kicks him, pulls tight, and punched her in the face, rendering her unconscious. Now, I will say, there's a whole lot more than just that short clip, but this is ultimately what it's boiled down to. When we look at the totality of everything, we have to make tough decisions. I will just say that that's not appropriate. It's not what we do. And this is not acceptable behavior. When you couple that with the fact that of a lack of accountability, ultimately the decision was made for him to be indefinitely suspended. That basically means that he is not employed. It's worded that way because you have due process. He can appeal for his job back through civil service. And so that's why it's indefinite suspension, meaning until it either is founded justified by a court or a governing body. So that's kind of where we're at. With that, I will take any questions.
Chief, the young lady in question, was she injured in any way? Was she head injury?
So she was treated at area hospitals and ultimately cleared. Best I can tell you is that, I'm gonna say she's not cooperating. I did speak to her. So she's offered an opportunity to file a complaint, and at this point has not. Again, why I've respected her privacy in this. So the best I can tell you is what we saw on the video is a possible concussion.
Is the internal affairs investigation completed this year?
Yes. Yeah, at this time, the internal affairs investigation is completed.
So I have a question. What do you think it is to more, have too much, employees more, where I say the word, training?
What are we doing in regards to training for our staff? Yes. So since taking office, it's been one of my priorities in the department. We've been working through retraining. We've asked for 2 times. The city has doubled our budget, and we've been pushing through that. I've been in office for about 15 months, and we've trained more in that time frame than a vast majority of time in the past. So we're going to continue to push on that. But I'll be honest with you, I shouldn't have to train officers not to punch an 18-year-old girl in the face and knock her out while she's handcuffed, rip-hobbled, and tangled up in a seatbelt. So I think that there's a lot to that. We're humans. He reacted in a human nature, but it's the accountability on the back end of that matters to me.
Because you know the first time, this is the second time, the first time you suspended another officer.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to repeat that for me.
This is the second time it happened, because the last month, I think, when you suspended one officer, happened something.
Yes, ma'am. So they've all been. The question that's been posed is we've suspended several officers over the course of the last little bit, and each case is weighed on its merits. So each case gets looked at individually. They are not the same or similar. These are different situations, and we walk through each case that happens. As soon as I took office, I had a situation I had to deal with. I've had several cases where officers got into trouble and they resigned on their own. This is the nature of dealing with human beings, and we make mistakes, but how we handle getting back up, taking responsibility matters to me. We're working on every bit of retraining. Most of these cases have nothing to do with training and everything to do with just taking responsibility for their actions and knowing better.
Chief, what's all involved in this particular training when it comes to
Yeah, so the question is, what's involved in training? We've been pushing on all sorts of training, right? The big training we pushed out is supervision, and making sure people understand that there is accountability and it's fair in that regards. We're not just going out there trying to find people to get in trouble. The situation was 100% actions that we know shouldn't happen. We are working on, within hours this action was found and highlighted to be wrong. And so there's not much training that needs to go into that. There's training into dealing with human beings, you know what I mean? Like that whenever you do things that are inappropriate, take ownership and
I'll put a link in the description on the entire press conference. And like I said in the beginning, there was no external complaint. So I give them credit for taking action on this. The only problem I see is no charges were filed. And the Texas Rangers cleared it, saying there's no criminal acts. That's a problem. And I've requested Officer Gann's body cam, so I'll get that posted whenever I get it.